Yo, what's up? What's up? New video here. Bitcoin reached a new all-time high, 119,223 to be exact. Bitcoin's just going up and up and up and up, and I don't see any reason for it to not continue to make new all-time highs. Now, nothing goes up forever. There will be some downturns or whatever, but things will continue to go up just because of the appetite that these ETFs have for Bitcoin. Not to mention all these companies, starting treasuries. MicroStrategy is obviously the top gun, but you have MetaPlanet out in Japan. Just other companies, zombie companies, I think, that probably realize the best thing for them to do is just to invest in Bitcoin and become a treasury. And that appetite isn't going anywhere. So the price of Bitcoin is just going to continue to go up, and I'm here for it. So today's video is about just talking about this new all-time high, and just the returns on Bitcoin to date, and also to talk about Sei. Sei is an altcoin that I talked about a year and a half ago that I was into. It peaked, hit about $1, close to $1, and since been down. However, recently there's been some good news about Sei, some bullish news about Sei, and I think, in my opinion, it's worth a reinvestment, especially as altcoins and start to take off. Bitcoin starting to get popular amongst institutions. At some point, retail FOMO will come in, and they'll come in for money to buy some alts and some meme coins. And I think Sei is primed to go up because of these things. So I'm going to talk about the good and some bad about Sei and why I think I'm going to invest a little bit more into Sei. So hope everyone's doing well out there, enjoying their weekend. So let's get into a little bit here. So if we look at CoinMarketCap, we see that the crypto market cap is up 1.82%, $3.7 trillion, y'all. That is high. So altcoin index, you see here, we're nowhere near altcoin season. That's why I still think it's a good time to DCA in the right ones. Bitcoin at the time of this video has gone down a little bit to 118,931. ETH is ticking at the door, knocking right at the door at 3,000. ETH is still looking good. Solana's at 163. But let's talk about Bitcoin and Sei today. That's what today's video is about. So we look at Charlie Bayeo. He's a good follow on Twitter. If you haven't followed him, please give him a shout, a look. It said Bitcoin just hit all-time high. 10 years ago, it was trading at $290. That's a 410 increase, guys. 410 increase. So all this talk about, old school heads talking about, invest in some bonds, put it in a, market account with your bank. You get whatever, 2 to 4%, 410% 10 years ago. And right now, I know the price is 119. It seems high as hell, but who's to say 10 years from now it doesn't increase another 400% or maybe even higher? That's what a lot of people are predicting, $1 million or close to $1 million Bitcoin in the not so distant future. So I know the price looks high now, but if you ask me, I'd rather put $100 as far as DCA goes into Bitcoin than let it sit in my bank account, my savings account, even at these prices. But this is interesting. That's a nice return. And also, if we look at this is per charts BTC on Twitter. Just look at the price, July 13th, and you see here the high was 119,229. And just look at from 2014, July 13, 2014, 631 bucks. And if we look at the last, let's look at some bull seasons, 2,340 and then 32,728. And to look at it now. So who's to say the next bull market, which is predicting around 2030, what will the price be then? That's why right now I know this looks high, but for me, this is still a DCA game for me. I'm still trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can. So now let's look at Sei. Sei is currently ranked number 54 as far as total market cap amongst all cryptos. Current price is about 32 cents. For the past 7 days is up 22.8%. Past 24 hours only up 0.6%. Look at the trading volume, 24 hours. It's about 236 million trading volume right now. And circulating supply is about 5.5 billion. And I think the total supply is about 10 billion. So half of the supply is already out there. And tokenomics is the issue with me as far as why I can't go all in on Sei. But we'll talk about that. So let's take a look at this. So this is Binance Square. They say that over the past year, Sei's infrastructure processed 42.5 billion in stable assets, facilitated 13.1 million transactions, and transacted or attracted nearly 300,000 yearly unique users. This isn't hype, it's fully operational system ecosystem at work. So, Circle, we know Circle just IPO'd and it's been going up and up and up. At the time of IPO, I believe Circle was under $50 and it's currently trading at around $200 per share. And a lot of that has to do with the Genius Act bill, a stablecoin bill that's in Congress right now. Basically, there's a going back and forth between Senate and the House trying to figure out the final version of the bill so that the president can sign it. And that's going to offer stablecoin framework in the U.S. And I think stablecoins, especially Circle, will take off because of that. You got Circle and Tether, but Circle is the one that I'm talking about now. And because of that, what does that have to do with Sei? This Circle, right? Well, Sei, Circle owns a lot, about 6 million, I believe it is. But here, let's look at this. Circle holds a significant amount of Sei, making it one of the largest token holders. Specifically, Circle's IPA filing revealed that they possess 6.2 million Sei tokens. Why would they hold so many Sei tokens? And we know that this is the prime beneficiary once this stable coin or stable coin act is processed and is approved by the president. Circle's going to go crazy. And what plans do they have with Sei? Why do they hold so much of it? That is very interesting to me. Also, we know World Liberty Financial company that's affiliated with the president owns some Sei as well, owns ETH and owns some Sei. So that is two things going for it. Thirdly, we have Sei is a U.S. based company, and we know that the current government wants to America first. They're all about crypto and innovation, and they want America to be at the forefront of that. And Sei also ticks that box as being U.S. based as well. So we got a lot of good things happening there. Also, recently announced native USDC, which is Circle, will be on Sei. So that is also positive. So we just talked about how much they own, over 600 or 6 million of it. But now they're going to be migrating natively onto Sei. So today, Sei is currently, there is USDC on Sei, but it's via Noble and IBC. IBC, if you don't know, is part of Chainlink, but now it's going to be native, and I think it's going to be a big upgrade for Sei. So while USDC for Sei via Noble will continue to exist at launch, Circle and the Sei Development Foundation will work on the ecosystem on a migration plan to help shift liquidity to native USDC on Sei over time. So the benefits of this is regulated, fully reserved, and redeemable one-for-one US dollars. It enables institutional on and off ramps like Circle Mint for eligible users, and easy integration for existing apps. With CCTP v2, developers will be able to enable users to move native USDC securely between 13 blockchains across 156 routes with one-to-one capital efficiency. And another benefit is it builds apps that enables seamless cross-chain onboarding, swaps, purchases, and treasury rebalancing, and more, while maintaining a frictionless user experience. This is all positive news for Sei. Now, if we look at DeFi, we see that this is just all the L1s, L2s ranked as far as DeFi total value locked. We see that Sei is not in the top 10. However, we continue downwards a little bit. We see that is ranked number 14 with 647 million total value locked. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's higher than Sonic, right? That's higher than some names here, higher than Barachain. That's higher than Cardano. So, it's up there. Higher than Near, higher than Toncoin. So there is DeFi on Sei. So that is something to take a look at. Now, if we continue and just look at here, just to see what's driving this TVL number, we see that their leading DEX is called Sailor, and that's about 82.8 million. But the main thing driving this TVL number is going to be Yay Finance, YEI Finance. That's their biggest project. on the ecosystem, and that TVL is 368 million. Now, if we look at some zonks, I would say on Sei, it would be, this is according to Artemis, if we look at the top bridge net flows, and this is an outflow for this past 24 hours, that there's been an outflow of bridge liquidity from Sei. So we see Sei had an inflow of 254,000, but had a net outflow of 2 million. So that's something to keep an eye on. Again, still strong, positive TVL, but this is something that I'll be watching to see if money and liquidity is moving out of the blockchain, out of the ecosystem, or if it's going to maintain high. So we got to pay attention to that. Other than that, very positive things. Now we look at the Sei social media as far as Twitter/X. They have about 797,000 followers. And some of the followers here, I'm looking, we see Lady of Crypto follows them. Pith follows them. They have a partnership with Pith. Will Clemente, Bursting Bagel, Toli, co-founder of Solana. Miles also follows them. So there's some people following them. Marty Party follows them. Mark Yusko follows them. So this is not a project that's some type of a slum or overnight type thing. There's some smart minds, especially in the crypto space, that's paying attention to this project. So that is positive. Now let's look at the Sei chart versus USD. And I'm looking at the yearly chart here. And we see for the year, it's up 5.3%. And if we look at the high, this thing peaked as far as a year, within the year's chart, about 70 cents. And that was in December. That's not too long ago, guys, 70 cents. And right now it's trading at 32 cents. And I just feel that right now, with all the goodness coming in with crypto, as far as the Bitcoin all-time high, and if that Bitcoin all-time high hits anything about 130 or anything like that, a lot of these alts will also rise. They will also rise. And Sei has some good news with USDC, Circle's holding it. There's talks about it's being involved in Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin here in the U.S., that they want to issue a stablecoin program project, and Sei is the blockchain that they selected to use that on. That's also positive. So this is a project that people are kind of sleeping on right now, and I like it. Now, another negative is when retail comes back in, they're looking for memes. And right now, as far as the top memes, Sei, I don't see, any top memes on Sei. Right now, is it strictly DeFi is the main driving force for this. There's something called Seians on it, but it's not a really popular meme. As far as NFTs as well, they have some NFTs, but nothing's really popping like the big ones like your Solana and ETH and the like. So those are things that are concerning. So we just talked about, one is the outflow. Pay attention to that as far as the money. NFTs not really that strong. Memes not really that strong. And also another thing that's not that strong is their tokenomics. And if you look at this right here, their tokenomics is not the greatest. So the next unlock is scheduled for July 15th, which is almost 1.5 days from now. And at that time, there's going to be an unlock of 1% of the circulating supply, which is 55 million Sei tokens being unlocked and sent on to the market. It's going to suppress the price. And if you look at this chart here, it looks like that's what's going to happen for the long, 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 long time. If history will repeat, as far as the peak of this unlock, it should be happening during the bear market. But we see here, they're already releasing 155 million in a couple of days. And then every month is going to be about the same amount, 55 million. So that is not great. That's not great. That's going to suppress the price. But I understand that. I'm investing into Sei knowing that, that the tokenomics isn't great, but I'm just hoping that with the altcoin, if we really get a true altcoin season and money starts flowing into Sei and the Circle relationship and everything pops off, I can see this project hitting 90 cents to $1 or even higher. My entry point being in the high 20 cents, I don't think that's a bad gamble in my opinion. This is not my biggest bag. This is just something that I'm throwing some money at, hoping for a 10x, just a big return on this one. I think this has the potential to do that. Now, another thing, just looking at the website here, I just want to see if there's been any updates. Now, I'll mention the updates about the native USDC, and Circle holding a big amount. But when I look at here, you go on their website and you click on media, It doesn't look like it's been updated. That's a bit of a concern to me, right? If we go scroll down to this website, we see here that the last update is like February 13th, 2024. Um, 2024 is the last update I see, unless I'm missing something. So that is questionable. I know that they update their Twitter. The Twitter seems to be updated. But that is kind of concerning to me. So let's take a look at the Twitter website here. So we see here July 10th. Yep. So they've updated the Twitter, but as far as their website, they really don't do much about that. So we'll see. We'll see. So that is what I have to do. I'm gonna start DCAing into Sei. Guys, let me know what you think of Sei. Or is there another altcoin outside of the top 20 that you think would do well come altcoin season? If you truly believe we're gonna have an altcoin season this year, I personally think we are. Let's look at the market again. Bitcoin has gone back up 119. Love to see it. Love to see it. So that's my video for today, guys. It's an exciting time to be in crypto. This is just the beginning, though. It's just the beginning. These altcoins really haven't popped off yet. We haven't gone Solana ETF, XRP ETF, Cardano ETF, Litecoin ETF. None of those have happened yet. So right now, you see the price of Bitcoin this high, and we still have other tailwinds to happen. Not to mention the Fed chair. There's talks of him resigning. And if that happens here in the U.S. and they have a replacement in and they start cutting interest rates, things will go crazy too. So I'm looking forward to all of that. Right now, I'm just trying to be level-headed, calm, and DCing into my favorite project. So that's my video for today, and I hope all is well. Until next time. Talk to you later. Bye.